get this party started. So, in the video I recorded where I said you need to file your complaint with the FTC, well, today we're going to go over the Direct Selling Association's Code of Ethics, and I'm just going to point out a couple things that I feel, in my opinion, Paparazzi is guilty of. Alright, so the Code of Ethics, it's a 28-page document, and they have a code of conduct, okay? Deceptive or unlawful consumer or recruiting practices. This whole thing, it's very suspect. It's very sus, in my opinion. But I want to get down to the things that I feel are, not good. So, where was I? Oh, I was up here. Sorry, I'm scrolling everywhere. So, let's talk about, there it is, products, services, and promotional materials. The offer of products or services for sale by companies of the association shall be accurate and truthful as to price, grade, quality, make, value, performance, quantity, currency of model, and availability. A consumer's order for products and services shall be fulfilled in a timely manner. Paparazzi did not do that during the pandemic. They did not fill your orders in a timely manner, so they're in violation there. But here's the other thing. Member companies shall not make misleading comparisons of another company's direct selling opportunity, products, or services. Any comparison must be based on facts that can be objectively sustained. Member company shall not degenerate any other member company, business, product, or service directly or by implication in a false or misleading manner, and should not take unfair advantage of the goodwill attached to the trade and name and symbol of any company, business, product, or service. Now, I don't know if Paparazzi directly is guilty of this, but I do know several Paparazzi consultants are guilty of this, because they talk about how their product is superior to that of Iris Flower Jewelry. Iris Flower Jewelry is another multi-level marketing company style thing that sells jewelry for $5. Okay, so I'm just going to put Iris Flower Jewelry. Okay, so you can go to, I think it's Iris Flower Jewelry. Here, maybe it's this. It's like, I'm going to pause for a second and be right back. Alright, my brain's not braining this morning. This is fibromyalgia life, okay? But it's Iris Fashion Jewelry. I knew there was an Iris in there somewhere. So Iris Fashion Jewelry, all items are $5 each, unless otherwise noted. Free shipping on orders of $25 or more. Okay? So you can see they have $5 necklace, $10 necklaces, lanyard, essential oil necklaces, earrings, bracelets, rings, the littles, sock foolery, and more. So this is a place where you can buy $5 necklaces, very, very similar to things I've seen on Temu, Nihao, Wish, Shein, Paparazzi, and more. Okay, so you can go through and see all of these things, that are so similar to other things that you've seen on other $5 websites or less. So, pages and pages and pages of it. Look, we've got the paperclip chains, we've got knee house specials all over the place. Okay, so I've heard other paparazzi consultants say that their things are far more superior than Iris Fashion Jewelry because theirs comes with a free pair of earrings. Or they don't have the same quality that Paparazzi has. They don't design the jewelry, they steal the designs of the jewelry. All of this, I feel, is false and misleading. That's my opinion, and I'm going to hold myself to it. That is my opinion, okay? Now let's go over promotional literature. Promotional literature, advertisements, and mailings shall not contain product descriptions, claims, photo, or illustrations that are false, deceptive, or misleading. Promotional literature shall contain the name, address, or telephone number of the member of the company and include the telephone number of the independent salesperson. Independent salespeople shall offer consumers accurate information regarding price, credit terms, terms of payments, cooling off period, including return policies, so on and so forth. Okay? Independent salespeople shall give an understandable and accurate answer to the questions that they have. Well, here's the thing. When you sign up to be a consultant with Paparazzi Accessories, you don't get to read all those terms and conditions when you are entering into the contract until after you've given them your credit card information, social security number, and mailing address. You don't get to actually read what you're getting into unless you know how to go and look it up. Okay, so unless you know how to go and look up the policies and procedures and the terms and conditions of joining Paparazzi, you're basically up shit creek without a paddle. Okay? So that one kind of blew me away. Warranties and guarantees. The terms of any warranty or guarantee shall be offered by the seller in connection with the sale and shall be furnished to the buyer in a manner that fully conforms to federal and state warranty and guarantee laws. So, in the policy and procedures, they talk about bonus buying and inventory loading and how that makes you ineligible for the refund policy. You have to be an active consultant to be eligible for the refund policy. They don't tell you where to go and find this information. You're just supposed to know. So that's, again, a little suspect to me. Okay. Number 6, pyramid schemes. For the purpose of this code, pyramid or endless chain schemes shall be considered consumer transactions unactionable under this code. The code administrator shall determine whether such pyramid or endless chain schemes constitute violation of code in accordance to the applicable federal, state, or local law regulation. And we go over the Amway FTC case. And again, yesterday when I was reading John's article to you guys, he calls the Direct Selling Association and the FTC a cartel now because they work in conjunction because they muddied the waters. They dirtied it up. But here's the important thing that I wanted to talk to today. It's about inventory purchases, okay? So we talk about pyramid schemes, and then we go into inventory purchases. Any member company with a marketing plan that involves selling products directly or indirectly to independent salespeople shall adopt and communicate a policy in its recruiting literature, sales manual, or contract with the independent salespeople with that company that will repurchase on reasonable commercial terms currently marketable inventory in the possession of the salesperson purchased by that salesperson for resale prior to the date of termination of the salesperson's business relationship with the company or its independent salespeople. For the purpose of this code, reasonable commercial terms shall include the repurchase of marketable inventory within 12 months from the salesperson's date of purchase and not less than 90% of the salesperson's original net cost. Less appropriate set-offs and legal claims. Paparazzi follows that part, the 90% part, to the T. Okay? For purpose of this code, products shall not be considered currently marketable if returned for purchase after the product's commercially reasonable, unusable, or shelf life period has passed. Shelf life with Paparazzi in their terms are if it's out of style, out of fashion, you're not eligible for a refund. We'll get to that in a second. Nor shall products be considered currently marketable if the company clearly discloses to the salespeople prior to purchase that the products are seasonal, discontinued, or special promotion products that are not subject to the repurchase obligation. Now let's go up to what 7A says, and I'll scroll down. The purpose of the buyback, and I'm reading from here. The purpose of the buyback is to eliminate the potential harm of inventory loading, i.e. the practice of loading up salespeople with inventory they are unable or unlikely to be able to sell or use within a reasonable time period. Inventory loading has historically been accomplished by giving sellers financial incentives for sales without regard to the ultimate sales or to used by actual consumers. The repurchase provisions of the code are meant to deter inventory loading and to protect distributors from financial harm, which might result in inventory loading. Every single person who has watched my channel, who has reached out to me, who has told me their story, who has let me know that they've left this company, have sent me photos of the inventory that they loaded up on because they were encouraged to do so. Now, I have pointed out that during the promotions, just recently, Paparazzi started adding to their website, under the promotions tab, section 5.19 of their policy and procedures. They're smartening up. But what about all of the people who quit this company before they started doing that little legalese protectees on those promotion tabs, promotion emails? They didn't do that. They didn't tell you, hey, if you can't reasonably sell this, don't buy this stuff. But, you know, there's a saying in real estate agents don't read. People don't read, okay? They just sign the dot. And then when they are upset about something with something that they signed and agreed to, they're like, well, I never agreed to that. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. You did initial this paragraph. You did sign this document. So you are therefore liable for the terms and conditions of this said contract. And the thing is I'm very big on contract law, you guys. I will give you the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the lefts, the rights, the all arounds, so you understand what you are signing before you sign it. I think that's what makes you a good advocate for somebody who is entering into a contract. I want someone to know what they are signing before they freaking sign it. I think that makes you an ethical and responsible human being. But Paparazzi doesn't give you that opportunity until after you've signed the dotted line. They do have the cooling off period, but they make it next to impossible to find the information that tells you that you have a cooling off period and that tells you you can cancel. Okay? They make that information hard. So I'm now going to advocate, because I know Paparazzi watches my channel. Paparazzi, I want you to have your terms and conditions and your policies and procedures on that sign up page. And I want it there before credit card information is put in. I want it there before they give you their money. I want them to be able to read that document in full before they give you their credit card number and sign up for your multi-level marketing company. I want them to know what they are getting themselves into. And I want them to actually have a place where you can DocuSign a damn document saying, yes, I read this. And I want people to actually stop and think about what they are getting into before they get into it. And by having the policies and procedures available for them to read is important. And it should be encouraged, not discouraged. It should be available at all times. It shouldn't be hidden in the back office. It should be front and center. Okay? Sorry, I'm getting passionate again because it pisses me off. All right. So, inventory is considered to include both tangible and intangible product. Okay? Both goods and services. Current marketability. Inventory shall be determined on the basis of the specific condition of the product. Factors to be considered by the code administrator which were determining the current marketability and condition of the goods. Well, it's supposed to be unopened. But they encourage you to open your inventory to inspect it. I learned early, don't open it. Look at it through the plastic. Yeah. You can clearly see if a stone is loose or if it's fallen off through the plastic. You can shake the plastic around to see if the product is falling apart or if it was made poorly. Okay? Changes in marketplace demand for a product formulation or labeling not sufficient to the grounds for the claim by the company, that product is no longer considered marketable. Nor does the ingestible nature of certain projects limit the per se of current marketability of those products. Government regulations, which may arguably restrict the limit and ultimate resellable resellability of the product does not limit the current marketability for purposes of the code. Okay? State status mandates that certain buyback provisions required by law must be described in the direct seller's contract. Well, they are. But again, it's really impossible to find it. And this is something that LuLaRoe got in trouble for. They did a buyback program and they did risk-free. What happened when that happened? Everyone was sending their inventory back and getting out of LuLaRoe. And then what else happened during that time? Because LuLaRoe was inundated with returns, they had to refund people. Some people never got their refunds. And then, what else happens when people return the clothing that they bought that they didn't sell and they're asking for their refund? Well, the uplines bonuses were affected by that because they were paid out on the product and it's being returned. So then they had to tell the uplines to pay back the bonuses they were previously paid, or it was taken out of their bonus for that month. If something like this happens within Paparazzi, a lot of upline elites are going to be hurting. Because if a bunch of people are able to return their product and get out, they should. So if you're watching this video right now, you should look into your buyback program and send everything back to Paparazzi if you are unable to sell it. Follow the rules, reach out to compliance, make sure you have everything crossed and dotted before you get the process started. But that is a good way to get rid of your inventory. I have received emails that some people have been successful. I have received emails that other people have not been successful. Here's how you are successful. Don't send back your hostess rewards. They won't give you the money back for those. Secondly, do not send back things that are opened. They won't give you your money back for those. But if you have unopened product that you've never taken out of the plastic, those are eligible for the buyback program. Follow the steps and send it back. Okay. Let's go back. A company shall not place any unreasonable procedural impediments on the way salespeople seeking to sell back product to the company. The buyback process should be as efficient as possible and designed to facilitate buyback products. The buyback provisions apply to all terminating distributors who otherwise qualify for such repurchase, including distributors who are not new to a particular company or those who have left a company to sell for another company. The buyback policy should be published in multiple locations and formats and stated in a manner that is understood easily. This is where Paparazzi is failing this. It should be understood easily by a typical independent consultant salesperson. It should be the goal of each member to ensure that the typical independent salesperson is aware of the company's buyback policy. Therefore, each member should undertake its best efforts to ensure the effective communication of said policy. So, that's where Paparazzi is failing. They make it impossible to find that information. It's next to impossible to find that information. So, it's like, okay, well, I'm trying. But it's not easy to find. Alright. So, any member company with a marketing plan which requires an independent salesperson to purchase company produced promotional materials, sales aids, or kits shall adopt and communicate a policy in its recruiting literature, sales manual, or contract with the independent salespeople that the company will repurchase these items on reasonable commercial terms. Possible boutique. Your back office products like the little ring trays, bags, peg hooks that are still in the box that you never opened. Those things should be bought back as well. They aren't, but they should do that. Okay? Any member company with a marketing plan which provides to independent salespeople with any financial benefit related to the sale of the company produced promotional materials, sales aids, or kits shall prominently state and communicate in its recruiting literature, sales manual, or contract with independent salespeople that the company will repurchase on reasonable commercial terms currently marketable company produced promotional materials, sales aids, or kits. What about the stupid party planner binder that they send everybody that nobody uses? That's worth something in the back office, I'm sure. Why can't you send that back and get your money back on that? A member company shall clearly state in its recruiting literature, sales manual, or contract with independent salespeople, if any items are not otherwise covered by this section, they are ineligible for repurchase by the company. Alright, so let's go over the 7B. Okay? And I'm going to move my head over here. Alright. In 1998, amendments made clear that by sales aids, kits, and promotional materials, while not inventory or necessarily intended for resale, good morning, honey, are subject to the repurchase requirement if a company requires their purchase or if there is a financial incentive associated with their sale. It was recognized that loading up on these items can cause the same harm to plan participants as in loading up on inventory. So I bought a lot of promotional stuff in the back office. You know how at Christmas time they have the special Paparazzi holiday mailing envelopes? Can I tell you how many boxes of those I bought and loaded up on? I also bought a lot of plastic bags. I bought Paparazzi promotional materials to use as giveaways because I couldn't do other things as giveaways. So I bought the ring trays and phone banks and a bunch of other things. I continued to sell those things, but I considered that I was also loading up on that as part of my inventory. With respect to the final paragraph of Section 7B, disclosure of an item's eligibility or ineligibility for the buyback is key. I do not know anywhere, and you guys can leave a comment down below, I don't know anywhere where it tells you in the Paparazzi literature that this product is not eligible for the buyback program. Because nowhere on their website does it say they have a buyback program. So when we go to opportunities, what do we have? We have join the team. Get a starter pack. You'll earn 35 to 45% commission. Work your own hours. Be your own boss. Work from home. Okay? So we have all of this. And then it says, pick your starter kit and start the party. Here's the compensation plan. Ooh, ah. The compensation plan that doesn't tell you anything. But it's not an income disclosure statement. It's just talking about all the bonuses you get. When you become a Lux jet setter, you get $25,000. When you become an impressionista, you get $50,000. When you become an iconic impressionista, you get $100,000. And then you get to keep the lifetime rank flex for that. Choose your sponsor. Choose the kit. Here's the return policy. It's down there. You can click on it. Let's see if this is related to consultants or if it's related to consumers. Consultants' rights to return paparazzi merchandise are limited. Please carefully review the return policy in requested form before placing an order for merchandise. Not all merchandise may be returned. Only merchandise with a manufacturer defect may be returned. If consultants comply with this return policy, a return merchandise authorization must be issued for any merchandise in order for it to be returned. Any request for the return of merchandise must be received by the paparazzi within 3 business days that the merchandise is delivered to the shipping address to the consultant provided. So, you get your order, you better open the damn box and inspect it the same day. Because if it's on a weekend, you only have, and it doesn't say, how quickly, but you have to get in touch with paparazzi. You have to do the return merchandise authorization form. Consultants are required to inventory all merchandise immediately upon arrival. Yeah. To initiate a return request, merchandise that is eligible for returns, a consultant should report the damage and submit a return request directly via the online return system. Does it tell you how to use that? No. If a consultant does not initiate the return by uploading an image of each damaged item under the correct item SKU within the appropriate time frame, the consultant will waive any rights to return merchandise. It took me forever to figure out how to do this because nobody taught me how to do this, and I didn't know where to find the information when I was a consultant. And when I started receiving more broken items, I was like, well, this is a total loss. I didn't even know I can do an online return request for the longest time. And when I finally did, I had to call and they told me how to do it. And I was like, well, this I've had for months and I didn't know that there was a 3-day thing. And she's like, oh yeah, well, it's here. It's like, well, where do I find this information? And they're like, oh, it's here. I'm like, well, that would have been useful to know. So, I mean, that should have been my red flag moment right there. I should have been totally aware at that point, but I wasn't. So, paparazzi only warns against manufactured defects. There are times when small pieces of the merchandise may be loose or only need a small adjustment, which is why they give you the repair kit in your starter kit. Okay? A return representative will process a return request within the online system and a credit will be issued to the consultant's back office. They won't credit the card on file. No, they'll give you a back office credit. Because they know. They know that you're going to buy more product. They know because of their fear of missing out and the way they have this system set up, they know that you will use that credit. Only merchandise that is reported to paparazzi within 3 days will be eligible for a return. If a consultant does not initiate the return of defective merchandise as set forth above within 3 business days of the delivery date, the merchandise will not be eligible. If a return representative requests the item to be physically returned, please complete and send it back. You have to physically get it in the mail within 4 business days from the instruction. The amount paid for return shipping must be visible on the outside of the package, or a copy of the receipt showing the cost of the postage must be included. Returns sent by any other shipping method will not be eligible for crediting of a shipping cost. Any request for credit or reimbursement or return shipping costs will not be accepted or reviewed if documentation is not included with the original return. Now, is this something new? Because I've been complaining about the fact that if you do the return policy, you're out the shipping. I don't know. Returns weighing 13 ounces or less must be sent by first class mail. If weight return exceeds that much, it must be sent priority mail or flat rate. Any items received by the returns department that can be easily repaired, do not have an RMA number, or do not meet the above specifications will not be accepted, and the items will not be returned to the consultant, and any applicable shipping fees will be forfeited or charged back to the consultant. Please note that the personal volume for each item returned will be retracted. Paparazzi is not responsible for the impact these retractions may have on the consultant's commission or status. This is why they discourage you returning items. And then customer merchandise return policy. If you order from them directly, return an item from this order. From there, you'll be able to select and submit a online form. So they do have they make it so much easier if you're a customer, but if you're a consultant, 3 pages of instructions and legalese. If you're a consumer, 1 page. That's mind-blowing. Okay. So then they talk about the earning representations and how you must use the income disclosure, and then it goes into inventory loading. We'll do that on another video. But paparazzi, with the file a complaint with the FTC, and you should file a complaint with the Direct Selling Association, hold paparazzi to these codes of ethics. They'll be linked down below. Leave me a like, a comment, share, subscribe, all those good things. I appreciate you being here, and a special shout out to my members. Thank you so much for being financial supporters. It's greatly appreciated, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.